Hi there, everyone. Good evening. I'm Christine Fleenor, and we're here from Children's Resource and Referral of Santa Barbara County. We're the agency here that all children have access to high quality, safe, nurturing, and inclusive environments that build a foundation for a long life learning. And we're the agency you would see if these are an interest to you, becoming a family child care provider or license exempt. This is our team. We have Michelle Graham, our Chief Executive Officer, Rosa Padilla, Operations Director, Eva Tangle is our Family Services Manager, and Jackie Banta is our Chief Operations Officer, and then myself, I'm the Manager of Provider Services. So we're going to get started with the services that we offer. In provider services, we help, thank you, Blanca. We help you obtain a license, maintain your childcare license, help develop all the professional training that you would need, your steps to quality as you grow. We help you along your pathway. The Steps to Quality Network, we help support. And then Quality Counts, which is a program here in Santa Barbara. We also have trauma-informed care and coaching, accreditation, facilitation through the NAFCC, which is when you become accredited. It's the highest level that you can obtain being a family child care provider. And then the Child Care Food Program and Alternative Payment Program. So within that, we have our family services. Family services is what helps support finding childcare, resources, financial assistance for childcare. We have parent cafes. We have one coming up that is for dads, which we're super excited about. That's going to be in the next couple months. We have childcare supporting foster care, childcare referrals, and our specialist is Daniela. A lending library where providers and or license exempt providers can come in and get resources in our library. And that library looks like toys or learning manipulatives, puzzles. If there's something that your children are very interested in, you can look through the resources that we have here. Then we do also do community outreaches. Just recently, we did a diaper drive and we started Hearts to Home to help support the adoption of children in the foster care program. And then we also help anybody who would like to become Trustline. So these are the services. All the work we do is free. We're here to just serve our community.
So hi, I'm Blanca. So resources and referrals. So quality childcare education. What you're looking for when you're wanting to go into a program is you want to feel, hear, and see things. So you want to feel comfort. You want to feel like happiness, joy when you're going into a childcare. You want to hear laughter of children. You want to see children playing, teachers or providers interacting with the children. We also have our QIS program, accreditation. Again, how Christine explained, it's the highest level that you could achieve as a childcare provider. Parent choice, referral list tailored to the specific needs of families. So again, Daniela is our referral specialist here in our office. So it's she'll find a provider that is near your home, near your work, whatever benefits the family. And then you could always call our office by phone or email, and you could speak to Daniela, and we will put in the chat box our office phone number and her email address if you have more questions in regards to that. So there's a lot of little definitions that we have going on. So we have like our LEs, which is our license exempt providers. So basically license exempt providers care for children of a relative or care for children in one other family. So just one other family, it can't be multiple families, but they could care for multiple children within that one family. So if one family has 2, 3 kids, 4 kids, they could care for that family's children. And then their own. Includes FFNs, so family, friend, and neighbor, which is the next definition, and nannies. License exempt providers are not required to be licensed by the state of California. So family, friend, and neighbor are license exempt providers who provide child care for their own, in their own home or in the home of the child's family. Family, friend, and neighbor providers are legally exempt from the state licensing requirements, the same as license exempt providers. And then family child care, so FCC, so that's providers that are licensed by the state of California. And they're doing it in their own home after submitting an application and going through the application process, which is getting your first aid CPR, preventative health, doing your mandated reporter, vaccinations. There's a full list of things that is needed for the application. And once you submit it, then you'll get your fingerprints done and then everything will get approved. Licensing will go over to your home, do a visit, and then let you know if you're licensed or not. There's 2 types of license: a small family child care license, which is no more than 8 children, and then a large family child care home provider, license that is no more than 14 children. So those are a little bit of the definitions for the different names that we have for license exempt, family, friend, and neighbor, and family child care. And it's still stated solutions to choosing a family, friend, or neighbor. So Trustline checks for criminal convictions and substantiated child abuse reports. License exempt providers must be Trustline in order to qualify for alternative payment or food reimbursement. Parents can call Trustline to ensure that their caregiver has been cleared, and this is the number, the 1-800 number. They will need the full name and then their DL number. 4 steps to complete Trustline. So a Trustline application, a life scan, submit application, and criminal record statement, and then Trustline processes the application. Again, you could call Daniela and you could call her here at our office, and we'll put that in the chat box with her email address, and she could help you with the steps of getting Trustline if you're interested in that. There are no fees for license exempt providers caring for an APP or CalWorks family, except the cost of fingerprinting.
Okay, hi, I'm Jill. I work in the SIP program. Myself and Jessica, we are specialty quality specialists. We help families that are interested in becoming child care providers. We help from the very beginning of when you call, you're interested, we send you information, and we help you from there and beyond. We help you get your technical assistance if you have issues with anything technical. We are really good with that. We really have gotten good at that, especially being with the pandemic and having to be inside now. And when you have completed the application and we've helped you get through all of that requirements to send your application off, and they have the community care licensing has approved that, they will send you information to get your fingerprints. That's when you call us and say, hey, I'm all done with this. I'm ready to get fingerprinted and ready to do a mock visit. So we will do through a Zoom. We will have you walk through your home, and we go through to see what health and safety issues in your home, what you need to move around or take off from your walls or things like that, just to make sure it's safe for the kids. And then once that happens, you can let your analyst know that, hey, I'm ready. And the analyst will come to your home, and I think they do. They will look at everything, and if everything's good, your application's all good, fingerprints all cleared, you'll get licensed that day. So right now it's it's looking at between a 2 to 3 month time from the time you start with us, depending on how fast you want to get through. We've had some providers get through in 2 months and get licensed, and I think 1.5 actually. Some have gotten up really fast. So it depends on how fast you want to do that. We also provide a health and safety kit bag, which has a first aid kit, your smoke detector, carbon monoxide kit. It has all the safety latches. So we provide that for you. So it helps you with your startup cost. In our SIP program, we also ask that there's 3 required classes, which is preparing a childcare, growing your family childcare business, and files and forms. And we just go really in depth of what it takes to become a childcare provider. We go through files and forms, what you need from the community care licensing. So that is just a little bit of what we do. And the bottom part, which is your family childcare environment rating scale, that is where it shows how to create your environment for your children. It goes through having your space and furnishing, your books, all your activities, play, your dramatic play, music, science. It helps you structure your environment so that children have many opportunities for experiences.
So I'd like to stop right here for just a minute and just share with you guys that what both ladies have talked about, the services that we offer, they are free.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no fee to any of this. It's your interest in reaching out to us. And basically, we're here to help you achieve, depending on where you would like this business that you're starting to grow. You can stay at a license exempt provider if that's something that you are just interested. You really don't want to do anything more, or if you do, we'll help you achieve it. So I just want to be very clear that those are of no cost to you for any of the work that we help you with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so we also provide an APP program, which is subsidized childcare. If you're a licensed provider or in your Trustline can also do APP, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Trustline or license exempt. If you have a family that may not be able to pay you the amount that you're requesting from them, they can connect with us, which is through Augie. He's our referral specialist. Is it referral specialist?
Augie is
Family
our family
services
services
specialist.
We have all these names for everybody. And so he will go step by step with that family and see if they qualify, and that family would be able to stay with you, stay in your care, and they would be able to pay what they can, and then the state would pay you for the rest of it. So it's something that we provide in our program. There's a stage 2 and stage 3. Also, after a certain amount of months being in one stage, they move to the next stage. And so there's many opportunities for families that may not be able to pay that full amount that we can help from the state of California. And so all 3 levels, you're exempt, and your Trustline and family childcare is able to have that.
Yeah. So right here is the alternative payment program. That's what Jill was just talking about, APP. And right here, we just wanted to show you the difference of being Trustline. Below, you can see from birth to 24 months. The full-time monthly is about $1,016.36. If you are Trustline, you are receiving $711.45. This is the difference in if you choose to grow and start a business. These are the difference of pay in that the maximum reimbursements you can receive. So we want to show that ceiling to you and share what you can develop.
Okay, so I want to give you guys a little bit of information about our food program. before we start with the developmental milestones and why they matter. We have a food program if you're Trustline. You can apply for it. You just have to do an orientation with one of the girls here at our office, either Gabriella or Hannah. And or if you are licensed, you can call them and join the food program. You get reimbursed for 3 meals per child. And you can get reimbursed for your own children as well, as long as there's other children at your childcare or in your care. You can get reimbursed for your own children. So if you guys are interested in that, I think it's a great program, and it'll help the parents out, it'll help you out, and you'll provide nutritious meals to the children and teach them great nutrition skills for their lifetime.
And I try to explain to new providers what the food program is like. It's like the nutrition program that you're used to hearing about, that the children at school can receive. Basically, this program does the very same thing. Instead of reimbursing the school for the meals that are served, they're reimbursing the family child care provider or anyone who's providing care in their home for children. So that, like she said, it's an orientation. It's a great way to save money, very easy to do. And where else can you get reimbursed for the food that you can get? And they're getting good, healthy meals. That's really important. So it's a great program.
I agree.
So now we're going to get started in our developmental milestones and why they matter. A lot of you had an interest on why parents and caregivers are, experts on their own children. However, meeting those milestones is so important because they will start taking those each step along their growth pattern. You notice the first step, they may be smiling for the first time or waving goodbye. And those are called the milestone that we're talking about. Children receive those milestones in how they learn, how they speak, how they act, move, crawl. This is all communication to us to realize where they are on when we look at their overall growth. So parents and caregivers naturally and continually observe this. And every time you observe a child's milestone and development, you can, connect and you get excited the first time the baby smiles or crawls or walks. And if it's in your care, it's like even the best. It's like a little piece of heaven that you have that you got to observe. And although you're sad for the parent, you're so excited for yourself as the caregiver. Sometimes in these observations, we notice that children might be having some challenges and not achieving some of the milestones where we think they should be. Especially if other children's parents compare the child, or even sometimes parents compare 2 of their own children. Well, Susie walked when she was 9 months old. Now Billy's 12 months old and he hasn't even started walking yet. Well, it's natural to have these concerns. We know that children reach their milestone because it's theirs. And the developmental milestone happens when that child is ready. And of course, with some encouragement from parents and caregivers, we can help them reach that goal when we know that that's what's best in the best interest of the child.
So every child is different and each child will develop at his or her pace. So we have an example about when you're driving on the road and it says Pismo Beach, 28 miles. That's an absolute mile. You go from point A to point B. So that doesn't change. There's no variance in that. But a childhood milestone are simply an average. So individual results will vary. So as what Christine was just saying, you might have a child that's 9 months old that's walking, but your 13-month-old hasn't started yet. So there are variants, and you have to be willing and able to look at those children and not say, well, you're comparing you want to have them reach that milestone when they're ready to reach. There will be some children that reach that milestone ahead, as a 9-month-old, maybe an average is 12, but they're 9 months old and they reached it earlier. And again, some children may not reach that, or they may go beyond that. So, but you just have to be able to be patient and know that child will reach that milestone when they're ready. So a child development is a continuum, meaning forever ongoing, slowly changing over time. Milestones are a guide. So we have an example, and I'm hoping that everyone that's on here have received the bag that has the milestone wheel. It's both in Spanish and English, and it talks about the very top of it. It says, let's go 18 months to 2 years, and it says my family can. So at 18 months, give an age-appropriate toys. Avoid giving me food as a reward or punishment. But if you turn it around to this here, it says I can. So this is what the children are doing. In 18 months, let you know what I want. Point to familiar things when named. This is a very, very helpful wheel that you can look at and say, okay, this is where my child might be in this area. And again, there's always that concern if they're not. And then we also have trainings and called ages and stages, where you can look at, we childcare providers have, and we give them to families, and then they can take it home and they can go through and say, okay, yes, my child is walking at this, but not, or standing, or, not being able to hold a fork right now, and so they're looking at that different level. So there might be a concern, then we can go forward and maybe have to go into see a pediatrician and see if maybe they need help. But, just realize that, it's an ongoing thing. Changes will always happen over time.
So each step in the developmental process teaches children valuable skills. Let the child acquire these skills at his or her own pace, while supporting them with fun activities from the first 5 wheel, which is this one right here that we just shared with you. Sorry, and other resources we will share with you. There's a few applications we're going to share with you as well shortly. To promote a baby's development in a healthy way is to recognize and support children right where they are at. Spending time bonding, talking, and playing with your children will support the development of their milestones. So even if the children aren't talking and you're playing with the child, make sure you're naming the items, the colors. Oh, look at this red ball. It's bouncing, and they'll start learning. And as time goes, next thing you know, they'll start saying red ball, bounce, or, so just be very verbal with the children.
Okay, so we're gonna be kind of using the wheel a little bit this time. So if you did get a wheel in your bag, go ahead and pull it out. We're gonna start off with the 3 to 6 months. Let me get on that one. So I can part of the wheel. You'll see there's the I can and my family can. So we're gonna start off with the I can part. At 3 months, follow movement by turning head, coo and gurgle, cry when hungry or uncomfortable, smile back at people. At 6 months, roll over, reach and hold for objects, coo, babble, squeal, laugh, be soothed and love to be touched and held close. So on the other end of that is the my family can. And my family can, at 3 months, give me interesting things to look at. Shiny, they have mirrors, they have different things that you want to be showing infants around that 3-month age. Sing and read to them. Books are perfect. Singing songs to them. Hold them to feed them. Comfort them by talking in a soft and soothing voice. At 6 months, you want to look at colorful books with me, talk to me, and play with me, baby-proof everything. That's when they're reaching for things, they're holding on to chairs and trying to pull on things. So definitely baby-proof everything. And then let me sleep 2 to 3 times a day. letting them nap when they need to, wake up when they're ready, okay? So now we're gonna go to 9 to 12 months on the same wheel. So you're just gonna kind of turn it a little bit to the next one. And then, so again, it's gonna, I can, my family can. We're gonna start off with the I can. At 9 months, creep or crawl, respond to my name, say mama, say dada, and any variations of mama and dada, stand holding on to a support, and sitting without help. At 12 months, wave bye, and any way they might just wave, they could say bye-bye, different variations of that as well. Show many emotions such as happiness, sadness, discomfort, or anger. Be interested in other children, so they might see friends their own age, wanting to touch them, play with them, and do that as well. Feed myself with a spoon, fingers, or a cup. My family can, at 9 months, sing and read to me, put me to bed without a bottle, talk to me about what I'm seeing or doing, kind of how Jessica was talking about earlier, seeing a red ball, bouncing, things like that. Give me a safe place to move around. And then at 12 months, include me in family meal times, play with me, read to me, sing to me, and talk to me. Help me learn what I shouldn't do by saying no in a quiet, firm voice. Or you could like hot, or different things like that as well. It doesn't always have to say no. So kind of showing them what hot is, staying within eyesight of me. Definitely stay in eyesight. I have a 1-year-old right now. 18 months to 2 years old. Again, you're going to just move the wheel just a little bit over onto the green. We're going to start off with the I can. At 18 months, let you know what I want, point to familiar things when named, so like milk, ball, toy, bear, things like that. Walk without help, speak to about 10 to 20 words, show emotions such as happiness, fear, sympathy, modesty, guilt, or embarrassment. At 2 years old, they're jumping, they're running, they're climbing stairs, get baby gates. Sometimes uses 2-word sentences, often do opposite of what's asked. So you could say, don't touch that, and then they're going to touch it and run, or don't eat that, they're going to eat it and run. So that's what you're getting into. Learn about rules and not able to remember rules. They might and just don't want to remember them, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They might not remember. My family can, at 18 months, give me age appropriate toys. So you're not going to want to give an 18-month-old little Legos that are super small pieces that could break off. You're going to want to give them age appropriate items, a little bit bigger, like the Duplo building blocks, something like that. Avoid giving me food as a reward or a punishment. Hold me and read simple stories. Teach me simple songs. At 2 years old, help me learn new words. Tell me or read me a short story. Talk to me about things I do or you see. You could say like, oh, I love the way you jumped, or oh, I love your blue hat. I like those yellow shoes, things like that. Be calm, comforting. After my temper outburst, I need to know that you love me. So just being there, comforting them. All children at all stages are going to have their outbursts at different times for different reasons. It could be because they want to put their hand in the toilet and you don't let them, and let them have that outburst and say like, it's okay, I'm here for you. Different things like that. Just showing that you're comforting them and you're loving them.
Those outbursts, I love it. And I have to say, do you love all of those pictures of those kids? I love every single picture. It's just like, oh, they're so cute. Even the little guy having the tantrum. It's like in every picture, they're communicating some way, the best way they can to us. So they're telling their story, however it is that they're showing us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we wanted to say thank you so much for letting us share our agency with you and what we provide, and giving you an idea of what and resources for what milestones are. So right now we're going to do a group activity, and if you can, we're going to type in 3 different questions into the chat box. And if you can, just pick one of them and respond to the chat box. And the questions are, and Blanca's going to be typing them. The first question is one thing I'm already doing. So what is the one thing that you already doing in your home with your kids, based off of, fun activities, or, what are you reading books to your kids? Are you singing with them? Are you taking them for walks, doing some science with them? The second question is, what is one thing I've learned tonight? What is the one thing that really stands out that you feel that you or want to know more about, or one thing that that you're surprised that you didn't know about? And the third question is, one thing I'm going to try. So on the wheel, you can take some ideas from what the family does and, want to try one of those, or something that we've suggested. So in the chat box, if you can just pick one of those, or if you have an answer for all three, that's great. And then just put in the chat box. I want to give you guys for, just a few minutes here just to think about it. And if you have any questions, you can put in the chat box for us. Any questions about our agency, anything that we can provide for you, let us know.
Can I share something? I see singing on there, and it just reminds me of our boss. When she used to sing to her daughter would cry. And I don't think she cries anymore,
No.
and she sings beautiful, but her daughter would cry. And so she wouldn't sing to her for a while. I think I was like, maybe she's crying because you just sing so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like
The emotion
emotional.
is coming out.
So yeah, it is true. Sometimes you try certain things and the children react not the way you think they're going to react, and you're like, oh, it's your own experience.
Right,
Yeah.
you have this high expectation, like, this is gonna be great, they're all gonna love this,
Right.
and then that comes back like, oh, that wasn't what was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
thank you,
yeah.
John, for sharing that same part. And then we have Cecilia, who shared, one thing I already do for my 3-year-old is to ask him to tell me about his daycare activity, and how he felt. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great
Conversation.
and him remembering, describing different things, in what he's telling you of how his day went and how he saw the day went.
And that on the spectrum, you're looking at how then he is sequencing his day.
Mhm,
That is high learning.
mhm.
So if he's doing that, you are bringing the very best out of him, and you don't even know it. It's just in a conversation. He's having to remember, and he's relaying it back to you at 3 years old, how his day went. And that's sequencing. That's getting ready for school.
Yeah. Thank you, Cecilia. And then John also shared time to toilet train the child.
Oh, that's fun. Huh?
Yeah. That's always fun.
Right.
Yeah, help a child learn other people's
Feels
feelings.
feelings,
Yeah.
Have
absolutely.
empathy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had a provider that I worked with, and I went to visit her house, and I thought this was so amazing. She had a child that had been in her program only for about a week, and she wasn't used to the routine in the program already. So she wanted to move on and play outside, and it wasn't that time yet. They were still cleaning things up. So the kids were kind of like telling her like, oh no, you need to clean up. And so she kind of had a little outburst, but she kind of threw herself back, and one of the boys ran to her and he was like, no, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. It's okay. And he brought her a toy, like, here, play with this while we're cleaning up. And just that made me like, oh my, and he was probably about 3 years old. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like, this just shows, as a provider, like what you're showing and modeling to the children, they're doing it with their friends in your program. And I was just like, I'm looking at the provider like, oh my gosh, like that is so cool. Like, I just really love that. I love that he was comforting her, making sure she wasn't hurting herself. And, he's a little guy himself. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
That's neat. That's
Yeah.
really neat. Yeah.
And then Cecilia also shared, I learned from tonight to be really patient, understand that the child is trying to communicate even when he is upset. He is on his own pace. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Thank
Oh,
you,
that made me get
Cecilia. That's
goosebumps.
great.
Because
That's
it's always so heartsick to see a little guy screaming in the aisle of the cereal at his mom, and she's like humiliated. And then you go around the corner to see it's one of your daycare children. And she's like in her work outfit, which is a postal worker. She's pushing the cart and she's like, Josiah, I'm gonna keep going. I said, no, I'm not buying that sugar cereal, and she keeps going and he is screaming and she's humiliated. But, as a parent, you support them where they are. And you do the very best that you can. And even in those humiliating times when the whole world can see you, you're being the best parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom would leave me in those aisles.
She went down and went around the corner and just stayed there.
I see parents do that all the time.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And often I was just, I'll share this real quick. I was at getting my vaccination for the flu. And I was at Rite Aid. And this little boy, 2 little boys with their mom, she had got her shots the day before. He is crying hysterically. I mean, it's all going all over. Mom, you hate me. You hate me. He's just going on and on. He's so loud now. And the mom's like, I don't. I really love you. I really do love you. And she was just modeling that conversation. And he's hysterical to get the shot. Finally, his older brother got it. He got it, walked away. And he's kind of laughing under his breath at his brother, but not laughing because he knows he doesn't want to get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there watching this all. And he's like, you hate me. And he's telling the pharmacy tech, you hate me, you're gonna hurt me. She's like, I'm really not gonna hurt you. If you hold very still, I promise it won't hurt. So mom sat down, she had to hold the child, and he was crying and she's putting a Band-Aid on. And he didn't realize he had already had the shot. He goes, wait, you already did it? No tears, no nothing. It just turned off. He goes, you already did it? And I walked up to the mom and I said, hey, you're a really good mom. You did a really great job. Because you know what? She was humiliated.
Yeah.
But again, you're being the best parent and communicating that the whole time during that whole outburst, that how much she loved him. No, I'm doing this because I care about you.
Yeah.
So the same thing that you're letting your child know, Cecilia, that you're communicating that very same thing when you're in that calm voice and letting him know that he can communicate that he is upset. I understand. So that's great.
Thank you guys for sharing your examples and what you learned, what you're trying. Thank you so much.
So now that we've talked about that, now we want to move to what do you do when you have a concern? What do you do if you as the childcare provider or the daycare provider has a concern? You share it with the parent. We've discussed this little wheel, and I'd really like to talk about some other resources we might have, some ideas that maybe the two of us can work on together, little things at home to help the child reach those milestones where you're not seeing progress. Also, if those don't work, having the conversation with the parent that maybe it's time to talk to the pediatrician about it. And maybe we're looking at a possibly maybe speech therapy is needed or behavior specialist is needed. And these are all things that the pediatrician can recommend through our Tri-Counties program, which is somebody that would come out and offer speech to the child depending on how many days a week or month. Some other resources are DSS, the milestone tracker. We also have Stay, Play, Grow. You can attend one of our classes, which is Ages to Stages. And I can tell you that I have used this tool. And in my experience over, Rebecca shared with you 32 years, I've actually used that tool and found one child that was severely sighted in one eye as blind. And she was so fantastic at a young age of shutting one eye, and you really didn't know that she memorized the chart at the eye physicians to know the cake, where the cake was when they pointed to each of the items, because she was too young to read words.
Oh,
And 3 children in a program that were deaf. So they got speech. 2 of them had hearing surgeries, and 1 child has now hearing aids. So it is it's where you pair up with the parent, you give them a little tool that they take home and fill out, and it's maybe 10 items of what they see them do at home. And then the 2 of you, they give it back to you. The 2 of you go over what you see during childcare, how they play with their peers and the things that they're able to do. And maybe the parent marks down that he can't use a fork, yet every morning at breakfast, he can poke his eggs or sausage with it. And you're like, no, he uses a fork. And they're like, oh, they never do that at the house. So there's those little things. Also attend a network night on the last Tuesday of each month that we have here. We're doing them over a Zoom. You are welcome to join us. So if you'd like more information about that, you're welcome to give us a call and we can email you the information. So those are some of the things that we do.
And then, so what we can do is we can stop sharing this and we can go to the resources and
Uh-huh.
put that inside the chat box.
Sure.
So, okay,
There we go.
yeah.
Right there.
Next one. No,
Okay.
there we go. So those we can just copy and put in the chat box. So these 2 resources, Christine just mentioned, which is the Stay, Grow, and Play and the DSS tracker, milestone tracker. We've just put those 2 in the chat box. So if you would like those and have more information on that, just click on those links and save them in your browser, and then you can go back to them and look. We also are going to, now I think we're going to do our QR code.
Oh.
So we're going to share the next slide or form, which is our QR code. We're asking if you'd be willing to give us a little time on your end for an evaluation. It's just something that's really simple. You can hold your phone up to the screen. And if you've gone to a restaurant, a lot of them have these now where they can pull up a menu. So if you just put your phone up, hit where your camera is, it should come right up. It's through SurveyMonkey. There's just a few questions. We just want to know your response, how you, if you enjoyed the training, if you've got some good resources from that. And we also put in the link, because some of you may be using your phone right now, which it's difficult to use the QR code if you're using your phone. We just put that link in there. You can also click on the link and it will take you right to that evaluation.
All right.
So if you have, we're going to leave this up for a little bit, but if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We can, there's 4 of us here. We can definitely, hopefully answer them for you tonight. If not, we can definitely get with Rebecca if she wants to, get contact with you if we have any more information or resources that we can give you.
I want to say, I think you made an excellent point about how important it is to keep that open communication with parents, because how often do we as parents not see what the caregivers are seeing and vice versa? And I actually have a question I wanted to pick your brains about. So you made a really good point about not using food as a reward, but I was wondering if you had suggestions about alternatives.
Well, just excitement. I mean, as well as being the provider manager here at Children's Resource and Referral, I have had my own family childcare for the last 25 years here in Santa Maria. And so I have a lot of experience, and my own personal is that we celebrate everything. I mean, like, we woke up today, yay! You know, for some of us, it's a true celebration. And so, like, Matthew was sharing about potty training. I tell the parent, please don't do it unless you're ready to potty train, because really, you're having to train yourself to help your child train their brain to work with a muscle. So the best way to do that is through encouragement. And it's like, oh, yep, you didn't make it this time. It's okay. Let's get those clothes off. Let's clean you up. And each time you're modeling the very same thing. And each time you're like, it's okay. We'll do it again. Are you ready to do it again? We just shift. We shift to, we can try better. We can do it next time. There is a next time. We don't shame the children. And so that whole technique of your excitement takes away the fear, because you either have two variables, fear or excitement. So if you can help the child jump in from the fear of being defeated and not making it and crying and being upset to the excitement of, that's okay, let's get some clean clothes, let's move forward, you'll see them naturally just do that. So that same thing of trying new foods, we put it out there, try it, see if you like it. I give you a napkin. If you don't like it, you are welcome to put it in the napkin. So that excitement of moving them, helping them step forward through it, I think really helps. That's been my experience. So
I'm laughing at the trying new foods because I remember we were at IHOP one time and my boyfriend's son had tried blueberry syrup and he did not like it, but instead of spitting it out, he decided to try to swallow it and threw up all over IHOP, and it was a whole mess, but we ended up laughing about it after.
yeah, again, yeah, I mean, you encouraged him. Okay, so next time the lesson is learned, right?
Yeah.
So next
Don't
time,
swallow
just put it in your napkin. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't like lima beans. I don't want to eat the lima beans. I tried the lima beans. I didn't like it. So, I think it's just allowing them the space to be themselves and encouraging them to move through whatever it is through the experience. And so you give them that authority, and then they get to own it. They achieve that. You didn't, so. Did that answer it, Rebecca?
Yes, that was wonderful. I just wanted to give one last chance.
Oh,
You're muted.
You're muted.
Just kidding. Yes, thank you. I wanted to give one last chance if anyone had any questions. Anyone else out there? Okay, in the meantime, just if you're thinking about it, I'm gonna share my screen because we do have a few events coming up with the library. I just wanted to give everyone a chance to get to know what's happening. We're actually bringing back our stay and plays. We're really excited about this. So this is me. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the library. Email is great. I respond very quickly to email. And then finally, our upcoming events, Stay and Play is back on Thursdays at Harding Elementary. We still have spaces, but we do need you to bring COVID-19 vaccination proof to participate. We have 3 more story walks on Daniel Finds a Poem. So if you're looking for activities for little ones, this is a great opportunity. You get to play outside in the park, enjoy a story with us. And then next month's Nurturing Know-How meeting, we actually have a yoga expert that will be talking to us about movement with children. I'm free at any time. Feel free to contact me and let me know if you have any questions. And I'm going to give that chat one last look and see if we've got any more questions in there.
Well, we'd just like to say thank you to all of you for joining us. We've really enjoyed being with you guys, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.